Hi guys, good to see you again. My name's Shaun, I'm from Square One Physiotherapy in Mosman. This is my colleague Kaitlyn. We're here today to take you through another live performance session. Again, it's going to take approximately 30 minutes to run through. We're going to start with first focusing on some mobility-based exercises and then working through some exercises to really activate different muscle groups and wake your system up. And then we're going to go through just 2 different routines, and both of these will include 3 exercises, and we'll repeat each exercises 3 times through, and we'll look to just show you a few different progressions and regressions so you can make sure that the exercise is correct for you at that point in time as well. There are a couple of things. So today, if you've got some hand weights at home, then fantastic. If you can go and grab them, that would be great. Okay, it doesn't have to be particularly heavy, but again, it just gives you some variety on the different exercises that we're going to work through. And again, we're going to be using a kettlebell as well during the session. So you can have a slightly heavier weight, you can have a water bottle, whatever the case may be, but we'll just be using something slightly heavier to give you a bit more of a different variety to the exercise. And we'll show you just a couple of progressions with a TheraBand, or sorry, a mini band as well. Okay, so so what we'll do, we'll start getting going with the program first of all. So we're going to go through the first part, which is the activation stroke mobility side. And really, Kaitlyn's here, she's going to demonstrate. So we're going to start off really today in this crook line position. Kaitlyn's got her hands on her pelvis, and all that we're starting to do is just some pelvic tilts. So just moving the pelvis just generally forwards and backwards. Okay, with the focus here really starting to loosen up the low back itself, but really just getting that awareness of sort of the disassociation between the low back and also the pelvis there. So we're going to go through just 6 repetitions, just working through this position, just to really start to prime the lower part of the body, but also engaging the core muscles. So we're going to take that from doing the pelvic tilts, okay, so where you should be just flattening the low back on the bed, or on the mat rather, and then starting to tilt the pelvis forwards. We're now going to take that into a dead bug position. So from here, Kaitlyn's going to bring both legs up. She's now, with her left knee, she's going to be pushing up, and with the right hand, left hand she's pushing down, right knee she's pushing up, and then she's extending through the other side. So the key focus points here is that Kaitlyn's keeping the low back flat on the mat. She's not arching through the pelvis at all. She's engaging what we call the oblique sling, so our core muscles. And then she's just extending through one leg and taking the opposite arm away. If that's too much for you, you can then revert back, but really the key focus is not allowing the pelvis to rock back when you're doing the movement. Okay, we'll just do a couple more reps on this exercise here, and then we're going to start to turn ourselves around. Great stuff. Okay, so we're now going to go from there into a plank position. So we've woken up the front of the body. We're now going to wake up the posterior chain, the shoulder muscles as well. So we're going to stay in this plank position first of all, and really just get an idea. Just make sure that you keep your shoulder blades flush against the chest wall, and we're going to take that into shoulder taps now. So we're going to just be working on just doing 6 repetitions each side. Okay, so you're tapping the opposite shoulder. You're still making sure that you can keep a water bottle or glass of water balanced on your low back as you do this. You shouldn't be shifting the pelvis at all, and you should be keeping your back legs piped straight as well. Okay, so great stuff. So we've done that there. We're now going to just come into what we call the world's greatest stretch. So Kaitlyn's going to just bring the right foot forwards, and now what she's going to do from this position is she's now going to open up the right arm, and we're just going to work through. So again, this is now just engaging the glutes on the back leg. We're starting to bring in some trunk rotation as we're doing it. We're just going to keep working through just a few more reps as you guys find this position. Okay, and again, you can take your time with it. You don't have to go at this pace. Okay, and then Kaitlyn's going to do one more repetition with this, rotating through the trunk, locking in the low back, and now she's going to go back into that plank position as well. Okay, so we're now going to do the same with the other side. Okay, so there, and then rotating away. Okay, so keeping the back glute engaged. Kaitlyn's just got to bring that knee up a little bit there, so that back leg has to be completely piped straight, and then she's rotating through. She's got the low back locked in as she's doing it, and she's just moving through the mid to upper back there as well. That's absolutely fantastic. We'll do a couple more repetitions. 2, So what Kaitlyn's going to do now, she's going to go back into a plank position. Okay, she's going to hold that position now, and this is where we start to go through our downward dog, but also improving the mobility through our calves as well. And now she's just going to start to move into that position and pump through the calves as well. She's loosening up the hamstrings, loosening up the calf muscles, okay, but also engaging the upper body whilst keeping her back straight. She's going to come back into that plank position. She's going to go a little bit quicker now when she whips through, so just there, good, and then just pushing out, okay? So when you're going from the plank into the downward dog position, just push through quite quickly when you're doing that movement. Okay, and back to the plank, good. And we're going to do just one more repetition, just pushing ourselves back there, good, and coming back and through. Okay, that's great stuff. Okay, so now from here, we're going to go into a standing position. Okay, so we're going to bring ourselves up. Okay, we're now going to just, as part of the exercise program, is going to be working on our different lunge patterns. So we're going to just work through some side lunges. Okay, and again, just to really wake the hips up, wake the adductors up as well, and really just get the lower legs switched on and engaged as we're doing this as well. And we'll just keep working through, trying to limit the time that you're in between phase. So just keep the movement between the feet quite quick as you stand up, and then just working through. And we just want to feel just a little bit of a burn through the thigh muscles as we start to just do this now. And we're just going to work through 4 repetitions more, okay, just increasing that speed as we're doing it. So we'll go with 1 more each side, so 1 and then 2, okay, and now we're going to go back to that starting position. We're now going to be working on our drop lunge, okay, so just coming across. So as you can see there, Kaitlyn's just bringing the leg back and across the body as well, okay, she's still trying to maintain the alignment of that front leg as well, keeping the hips level as she's doing it, but just bringing that lunge across the midline there as well. So really working on good hip control, good control through sort of her quads and hamstrings as well. And we're just going to do a few more repetitions of that. How are we feeling there, Kaitlyn?
Yeah, good.
Yep, so
it's
okay.
Good warm up.
And we'll do 2 more. We may just go into the mini runs as well, okay? And time, okay, great stuff. So next thing we're going to do now is just be into this final movement, just to really get the heart rate going. So we're just going to be having the arms just pumping as well, and when I say go, we're going to be just working on 5 seconds of just high speed, moving the legs but keeping the arms where they are as well, okay? So just all that should be moving is just the heels off the ground. So we're going to go with go and quickly pumping those legs, okay? So 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and back to the starting position, okay? And we'll keep it going, okay? We're going to do 2 more repetitions, okay? And let's go. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and time, okay? Just focus on your breathing. We're going to do 1 more 3. We should just feel like that heart is beating a little bit fast now, and the breaths are just slightly deeper as well, okay? And let's go. Last one. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and time. Brilliant stuff, okay? Excellent stuff, guys. So feel free, if you want to grab some water, by all means do so. I'm going to give you a demonstration of the exercise routine that we're going to start with, okay? So the first one that we're going to do as we do this is a bridge variation. So we're simply going to be in a bridge position. We're going to have the arms across the chest, okay? We're just driving through both heels, okay? And the first variation is we're going to be just marching on the spot, bringing the legs up, okay? Trying to keep the hip extended as we're doing the movement. Trying not to rotate through the core, okay? And we're going to just be working on 8 repetitions each side as we do this movement, okay? Next one that we're going to do is we're going to use our weights again, and from here we're going to go with what we call a stability lift as well. So we're going to have the weight in one hand, okay? Back toe is dropped on the floor, hips extended, okay, back glute switched on, and then we're going to just be working on our trunk stability, but also the rotation component as well, okay? The next exercise that we're going to do in this position is now going to be what we call a renegade row. We're going to start off just simply just on our knees, on our arms in this position, and we're simply just going to be working on just coming back and then changing sides as we do it. If you can put your hands on the weights, then fantastic, okay, but if you're finding that the wrists are uncomfortable, then simply what you can do is just have the arms either side, okay, and then just bring one leg up, one arm up rather, drop the arm down and change sides, okay? All right, so we'll get going. So we're going to do 16 reps in total of the marches, okay, and we're going to go now, okay guys? So just that's it, so raising the legs up, good, keeping the hips engaged as we're doing it. So notice with Kaitlyn again, she's just really working on just keeping the low back stabilised there. She's not dropping at all. You feel okay there, Kaitlyn?
Yeah.
Yeah, hard work.
It's tricky with the arms across your chest.
Yeah. So if we're finding at home, guys, that it's quite difficult with the arms across the chest and we need to just increase the stability, then by all means just have the arms out to the side, okay? And that will just give you a little bit more support as you're doing the movement. And again, if you're finding that you're rocking either side, then that's a really good way to just regress the exercise slightly there as well, okay? How many reps is that, Kaitlyn?
2 more.
2 more. Good. Good job, fantastic. Okay, so we'll go with exercise number 2 now. So just working through our stability lift, okay? So, perfect, so we're just in so other way then, that's it, so, yeah, perfect, yeah. So there we go, okay, so the bottom part of the movement is sort of in line with the back leg there, and then we're rotating across that front leg and coming up and back down. And we're going to do 8 reps on each side as we do that as well, okay? So notice with Kaitlyn when she's doing it, she's not twisting through the hips at all. She's keeping the hips well aligned, and she's simply just working on rotating through the trunk. She's using her upper body as well as she's doing this to push and press that weight up, and she's just working on her core stability and her control through her trunk as she transfers the force from the hips up to the upper body as well. Okay, and again 8 repetitions each side there, guys, okay? So you could use a sort of water bottle, a backpack, something like that, okay? So we're now going to go into the Renegade Rows. We're going to start off with just having the knees down, okay, crossing the back legs. We're going to try and keep that back as low back as stable as possible. And again, we're working through 8 repetitions each side, just rowing through, okay? So again, for Kaitlyn, fantastic. There's going to be some component of arching through the low back because the knees are down, but she's keeping the back relatively straight. We can see it's quite a challenging exercise for her because of the fact she's shaking a little bit as she's doing the movement pattern, but still working well. And again, she's now bringing in that rowing movement, so really working the muscles around the shoulder, around the scapula as well as she's doing it there. How many is that, Kaitlyn?
I think it's 15.
One more then. Okay, and time. Okay, guys, great stuff. All right, so feel free to take on some water. We'll go with round 2, okay? Kaitlyn's going to give you a quick demonstration. So this is now, we're going from just raising the legs up to we're now going to be lifting the bottom up. We're now going to be marching the legs out as we do the movement. So a little bit higher there, Kaitlyn. So really lifting those legs up as we're doing it. Good. We find that position, we get it, just hold it for a couple of seconds, drop the legs down, or drop the bottom down rather, and then bring the legs back up and we're going again, okay? So we're lifting the hips up and we're now marching out, okay? And we're going to go with 8 repetitions from now, okay guys? Hold it for a couple of seconds, good, and then back down. Hips down, good, and we go again. So really when we're doing this, when we get the hold at the end of range, we're getting a really nice isometric contraction on the hamstrings. So if you're suffering like me and you've got a hamstring strain, then certainly this is a great exercise just to start to load the hamstrings up, and you're loading them what we call eccentrically, which basically means that you're lengthening the tendons under load as well. And this is one of the best ways to rehab tendon-based injuries, okay? Now, your options are similar to what Kaitlyn's doing. She's doing it quite challenging there, whereas she's got the arms across her chest. You can simply have the arms to your side again to work on or reduce the stability as well. Okay, how many's that there, Kaitlyn?
Oh, I lost count.
Okay, so we go with another couple of repetitions coming out there. Okay, good. Hold it for a couple of seconds, good. Drop the hips down. We'll do 1 more repetition. So just lifting yourself up there, good, and then just walking those legs out as well there. Good, hold it, good, and drop it down, okay? So back into our stability lift now. Again, we're going to show you a variation of doing this. Kaitlyn's going to now work on just keeping the knee off the ground, okay, so just slightly harder, so we're just going to push up. If we're struggling a little bit with this, then we'll drop that knee down, but let's see how we go. Okay, so we're still working the stability through the trunk, but we're now working much harder through the hips as we're doing it, okay? So, Caitlin's going to do a couple more repetitions and then she's going to have to drop the legs down, okay? How many reps is that, Kaitlyn?
7.
Good. Last one. Great stuff, okay? And we'll change sides. So the next side, so Caitlin's going to keep the knee on the ground and she's going to just take herself through that rotation there.
Are you sure?
Yeah. So as we said, the progression is that you can just start to lift that knee up, which again is focusing much more on stability through the hips, but you've got to make sure that you keep your form when you're doing it. Yes, the hip should stay aligned as we're doing it there, and we should just be rotating through the trunk, just pressing the weight up. Good job, fantastic. Okay, so now we're going to go into the next variation of the Renegade Rows. Which is going to be basically just now we're going to be up into the plank position doing the same thing, okay, so just legs there, great stuff, okay, and then we're now just having the weight either side, and we're going to go with work towards 8 repetitions each side as we're doing it. Again, if you want to, you can keep your hands on the weights. If you're struggling with that, that's absolutely fine. Just take your hands off of the weight like Kaitlyn's doing, and then just doing the row motion as well. Again, the other key thing with this one is just making sure that we're not shifting the hips at all, and we're keeping the pelvis aligned. And again, we should be able to balance a glass of water just on the back as we do the movement there as well. Now, you can make it a little bit easier for you as well by just opening the legs up a little bit further, which again will just improve the stability. But again, you can make it harder by just bringing the legs together as well, which will just challenge your core muscles. So I can see Kaitlyn's working quite hard there. Fantastic, well done, Kaitlyn.
Always.
Okay, so round 3 now. So with the bridges walking the legs out, we're now going to simply just walk the legs out. We're going to do that isometric hold at the end of range, which we talked about, and then we're going to walk the legs back in as well. So we're really loading the hips up. I'll let Kaitlyn just have her arms by her side just to give herself some support there. And she's now lifting up, she's walking those legs out, that's absolutely fantastic, good. She's taking herself all the way down, she's got that long lever bridge, holding it for a couple of seconds, and now bringing herself back in. If you need to rest after that first repetition, guys, drop the hips down, by all means do so. If not, we're going to go out again with repetition number 2. And Kaitlyn's doing fantastically well, good, holding it for a couple of seconds, and then now bringing herself back in as well. That's great stuff, okay? All right, we'll keep going. We've got 8 repetitions to do. We've done 2 so far. Okay, if you need to break, by all means do so, and then bring yourself back in there as well. Good job. How are we doing there, Kaitlyn?
Good. Fantastic.
She's doing really, really well. She's keeping her, again, her low back aligned. She's not arching through the low back, which is great. She's really engaging those hamstrings now. She can probably feel it right during that end of range position as well, and she's really sustaining that hold as well, okay? And I think we've got about 3 more repetitions. Yeah, good. Now the other thing as well is you'll notice that Kaitlyn just resets herself at the end of range. So when she brings the legs up, that's absolutely fine. By all means do so, okay? Just reset the hips and then go again. Good, okay, this is the last one. And then back in again. Good job, and lifting the hips up. Great stuff, guys. Okay, so we're going to go back into doing our stability lift now. Again, you can just have yourself just slightly raised up if you want. I'll let Kaitlyn decide whether she wants to keep the knee on the ground or not, and then we're just going to work through 8 repetitions. Okay, she's going half-half. She's working, she's got 6 kg kettlebell there. She's on a foam mat as well, which is making it harder for her. But she's doing well to keep the hips stable, but she's had to revert back to the previous exercise. But again, as we talked about, it's much more focused on just technique than anything else, okay? And she's going again, okay? So she wants to see whether she can get those 8 repetitions out of the raising the leg up, okay? Working through the trunk, okay? She's really keeping the hips well aligned. She's engaging, firing up that back glute as well because of the back foot. And she's worked through, and that's a great effort, okay? Perfect, well done, okay? So the last one of the Renegade Rows. Now, there is a variation of this, okay? It could be that you raise one of the back legs as you're doing the rowing motion, all right? But what we'll do with Kaitlyn is we'll just stick with what we're going to go.
Show it?
Yep, if you show it there. So just, yep, perfect. So one leg raised, and then you're doing the row, okay, and then popping the leg back down, changing legs as well, okay, doing the same on the other side. Yeah, a lot harder, okay, and you're having to slow that down. But for Kaitlyn's benefit, we're going to go back to level 2, and we're just going to go through there, okay? So we'll go through, we'll try aiming to work on getting 8 repetitions out each side as we're doing this as well. Again, now you should be really starting to feel the upper body working hard. Okay, the next 3 exercises are primarily focused on lower body, apart from one exercise. But this one, you should be now starting to feel that fatigue creeping in as well. Try and just keep those hips level. Try not to rock the hips at all as we're doing the exercise itself. Okay, keep the core muscles switched on. Keep the back, let both legs as straight as possible. Great stuff. How are we doing there, Kaitlyn?
Oh, good.
Done it, fantastic. All right, guys, so feel free to take on some water. Okay, we're going to go through and I'll show you exercise the next 3 exercises that we're going to do, okay? So the first one that we're going to do is going to be, we're going to be taking ourselves down into a real deep squat position. So we just want to really be opening out the hips. We're going to have our weight here, okay, and we're going to work on side shuffling 2 sides across and just working through, okay? And we're going to go with repeating that just 6 times through, okay, as we side shuffle across, okay? Now, nothing wrong with the knees collapsing inwards when we're doing this. This is really just some of our base positions when we're playing sport. It's normal to let those knees drop in, but we also have to control the movement. So this starts to gear us up for that. Exercise number 2 is now going to be working on what we call sort of a dive bomber. So sort of a variation of a push-up into a cobra. So we're going to start off just with the legs fully extended. We're going to come down, so as if we're going into our downward dog, coming through, hitting that push-up position, okay, and then pushing ourselves back up out of that. Okay, so coming down, coming through, hitting that push-up position, and then coming back up out of that, okay? And exercise number 3 is back using our weight again, working on now our drop lunge as well with the weight, okay? And again, we'll go with 8 repetitions each side as we're doing it. So I'll let Kaitlyn go into it there. Do you want to start with that weight?
Yeah, whatever.
Yeah. Okay, so she's going with a 6 kg. She's now just going to be in that deep squat position, so a bit further with the legs apart there. Good, okay, and then she's now going to be almost crab walking two ways across, good. And then we're going to be doing the same going the other way, that's great, okay. So keep the legs a little bit further apart, come down into that squatting movement pattern that bit more, that's it. Okay, so really a deep crab walking squat as we're doing it. And we're going 6 across each way, okay? So 2 more, so 2 more reps each side. Good, great stuff, and then pop the weight back down there, fantastic, okay? Now, exercise number 2 is going into that dive bomber position. Okay, we're gonna start off just on the knees. Okay, so as I said, we're dropping back almost into that downward dog position, so just coming back and through, diving through, good, hitting the press up position and pushing ourselves out of that. 8 repetitions, okay, working through. Good, and Kaitlyn's absolutely nailing it there, okay, just working now fully on the upper body, fully on the triceps, pecs are working hard, okay, but also working on some of the stability muscles around the shoulder as well. And again, notice she's curving slightly through her back, but then she drops into it nicely, and then she locks her low back in for that full push-up position as well, okay?
This last one?
Yep. Good job, okay, brilliant stuff. All right, so now we're going to go into, the last one is we're going to go into now our drop lunge, okay? So now what we're going to do, we're going to alternate each side as we do the movement as well. You're going to keep the weight close to the chest. Okay, we've done this as the warm-up there, dropping through and then changing sides as well, okay? And that's really nice. Again, we know that lower body-wise, Kaitlyn's very, very good. She's got good hip strength, good hip control. So this one is quite comfortable for her to do there as well. Again, keep the hips facing forwards as we're doing it, okay? That front leg should not really drop or inwards at all, but it should just be the back leg that drops across there as we're doing the movement pattern, okay? But again, we should be quite stable through the hips as we're doing the movement there as well. Good, and as we said, we're working on just 8 reps either side, so 16 reps in total, coming through. how the legs feeling?
It's great.
Okay, all right, so now we're going into round 2, okay? Now, when doing this, you can use a mini band around the legs. Yep, so one option is to do that. Do you want to give that a go with the mini band as well? Yep, yeah, pop the mini band on. Yep, so Kaitlyn will just show you a variation just using the mini band here as well. Yep, so mini band just above the knees there, okay? We're going to go back down into that really deep squat there. The legs quite far apart, that's great. And then we're now going to just work through, so perfect. So, yep, great stuff, okay? And just keep shuffling those legs either side, okay? And again, you're going to really feel this in the quads. You're going to feel this in the glutes as well. You want to keep that low back really switched on as you're doing it as well. Okay, and we'll just do, good job. So one more each way now, okay? And then back again. Great stuff, brilliant stuff. Okay, so band off, and now we're going to go back into the dive bomber. Now the variation of this is now we're going to do it from a normal push-up position as we drop into it as well, okay? So we'll see how we go. If you need to drop back to doing the previous variation, by all means do so. Kaitlyn's going to give you a demonstration as we work through. So we're in that plank, tall plank position. We're dropping back into the downward dog, and then we're driving through, good, holding it back up, okay? So back into your downward dog, a little bit more there, that's it, good, hold, and then back up, that's great stuff, okay? So again, Kaitlyn's only got a few repetitions in her, but she's doing really, really well. Her form is fantastic. Okay, she's done 3 good reps there. She's now reverted back to her knees, which is fine. Okay, but again, she's just when she drops into that push-up position, she really keeps her back engaged as well. Yeah, good sort of trunk stability there, and then just simply just pushing through the upper body as she's doing the movement there as well. Okay, few more reps. So it should just challenge you at that bottom of part of the range there when you drop in and hold it for a couple of seconds before coming back up.
That is a good one.
So now back into our drop reverse lunge. Okay, so again we're going to go with just 8 repetitions each side as we're doing it. Okay, coming through and then just coming back out of there as well. Okay, and again it should feel a little bit easier than say doing the previous 2 exercises. You use it as a bit of a recovery exercise as well, but still continue to focus on good hip and good trunk control. Keep the weight as close to your body as you can when you're doing the movement pattern as well there, as you're dropping in and coming back out of that.
Right. Okay, thanks very much.
And coming through.
We cancel the other one, right?
How many reps is that, Kaitlyn?
15.
Good. Perfect. Okay, brilliant stuff. Well done. Okay, so round 3. I'll give you a demonstration. Kaitlyn's going to grab herself some water as well. Okay, you guys do the same thing at home. Now again, you're obviously all working extremely hard, but this is just a slight variation of what you can do. Again, going with the same principle of starting to improve or reduce the base of support in the legs. So you can just simply be one leg up. Okay, again, same thing, dropping into it, coming down, holding that position, and coming back up as well. Okay, so that's just of the dive bomber. The first exercise we're going to keep the same. Kaitlyn's not going to worry too much about using the mini band. You can still use it at home. We're going to be going from 6 each side, and then lastly we're just going to finish off with the same thing. Okay, going with our drop lunge as well. Okay. So let's go through. So deep squat position there, okay, and then we're going to be crab walking across. And again, it doesn't matter too much if those knees collapse inwards at all. That's absolutely fine. Okay, if you're getting any knee pain at all with this exercise, then by all means we can just vary it slightly, okay, or come out of that deep squat position. You might need to just raise yourself up slightly, okay, but keep really working through. And you're going to just, as we said, feel this really through the glutes, through the quads as you're doing the movement pattern there as well. Okay, try not to rock as we're doing the movement. As we fatigue, we'll start to just shift the body to try and generate power through that. But try and just keep it very much isolated to the hips. Good job, well done, Kaitlyn, excellent stuff. Okay, so back into the dive bomber now. So what variation are you going to go with, Kaitlyn?
Oh, I'll be conservative.
Okay, so we're going to go onto our knees with this one. Okay, but as I said, for you guys at home, if you want to mix it up, if you want to start to raise one leg up, by all means do so. It's just going to challenge your trunk and your stability that bit more. Okay, so Kaitlyn's coming through, great stuff, and then coming back out of there, fantastic. Okay, and again we're just going through 8 repetitions. Try and you can just make that hold at the end of range that little bit longer. to make it harder, and just work hard through the triceps as well, okay? And again, same thing, Kaitlyn shows the right progression or regression from her at the moment, because she's still maintaining really good form, really good technique as she's doing the movement pattern as well. She's not losing it through her trunk at all, or through the low back, okay? How many reps?
One more.
One more. Great stuff, well done. Okay, so we're just going to show you one variation of the drop lunge. Kaitlyn's going to do a 3-second tempo hold. So she's just going to hold it a little bit longer, just to get a bit more of a burn through the thighs there as well. Okay. So just going to come through, perfect, and back in. Okay, we'll just hold it there. Okay. Good. So 3 seconds, perfect, and then coming back through as well. Okay. Good. Yeah. So whereabouts are you feeling it, Kaitlyn?
Glutes.
Yep. So.
But this one much easier for me.
Yep. Yeah. So yeah. So absolutely. So you should be feeling it through the glutes. You may be feeling it through the quads.
Yeah.
Or through the through the quad, through the glutes, maybe through the hamstrings as well. Okay. It's asking a lot of just your ankle stability as well as you drop the leg down there to try and stabilise and hold. Okay. And then it's important, as Kaitlyn's doing, she's keeping her upper body and her spine still quite long and tall as she's standing up straight there as well. She's keeping the weight close to her body with her shoulder blades just back around the chest wall as well, so she's keeping her sort of shoulders set correctly to stabilise and support the weight itself there. Okay, how many reps is that?
Oh, I definitely lost count.
Okay, so do one more each side, okay? So 3-second hold, and then we'll go through to the last one there as well. Great stuff, okay, good job guys, alright, so perfect, so we've worked through obviously the activation, the mobility, the activation stuff. We've then gone through the two of the main circuits that we wanted to do. Kaitlyn's obviously been working very, very hard, so now we're just going to try to slow our heart rate down, control our breathing down as well. And the first one that we're going to do, and I'll give Kaitlyn a demonstration with this, is we're going to just be working on just coming out to the side and just really opening up just through the hips. So we're opening up through the adductors, okay, and then what we're going to do is just rotate across as well as we're doing it, and we're going to just work on just slowing our breathing down, 3-second holds coming across. So we should feel this through the adductors, okay, we may feel it through the hip flexors on the front there, and we're just bringing in the trunk as well, okay. So Kaitlyn's going to set herself up in this position, so right leg turned out 90 degrees, good, that's perfect. And then she's just going to come across, good, and then just open out the channel as well there. So again, focus on your breathing, try and exhale as you're doing the movement pattern. Okay, hold it for a couple of seconds as we're doing it there. Again, we should just really feel ourselves just improving the flexibility through the hips. Okay, and we're change sides now as well, okay? So we've just got a guest, Lucy, on camera, just say hello.
Hi.
And then we'll do the same thing, okay? So just opening up and through. Good. Okay. Good. Perfect. And last one, okay? So we're now going to take that into our cobra, okay? So we're going to go just lying on our stomach. Okay, again, last thing is just going down. And then Kaitlyn's just going to come up and just push herself just up into a cobra position. Okay, focus on breathing out as well. We've done this through doing the dive bomber exercise as well, so it's really starting to just loosen the back out. And then exhale. Exhaling when you're doing this will just give you a little bit more overpressure whilst you extend through as well. Okay, so you'll get more movement through the back as you're doing it there. And again, we're just going to go with 3 repetitions. Again, trying to really focus on getting the breathing under control as well. So this is a great chance to really stretch, improve muscle length, particularly while all of those muscles are warm, and create more range at different joints, particularly the back, but also the hips as well. So now Kaitlyn's going to take that into a pigeon stretch. So she's going to bring one leg forwards. Okay, she's going to wrap it underneath the body there. Great stuff. So we've been doing a lot of the glute-based work. and then she's now just going to, as she breathes out, she's going to drop into it a little bit more and just working through, and if she can, she'll try and take her chest down onto the floor as best she can as well. And again, just those 3 breaths, taking your time, slow it right down, extend that back leg as best you can as well, which will just get the hip flexors for Kaitlyn on her left-hand side stretched out. And again, as we said, it's really just targeting the glutes on that front leg. Okay, and we'll change sides. Same thing there, coming through. Okay, and then just dropping into it. And guys, at home, you may find that you just can't take yourself down into that range. That's absolutely fine. You can just be on your hands if that's a bit more comfortable for you, if you don't have the available range through the hips when you're doing it. If the hip joint is a bit sore and uncomfortable and you don't feel you can put yourself into it, then you can just take yourself through just a glute stretch line, similar position to this, but just on your back, bringing the leg up as well, which will give you a bit more of a stretch through the glutes there. And again, if you're finding that on any of these exercises you're limited or restricted by pain, then feel free to give us a call and we can certainly assess you and give you a diagnosis and a management plan. Okay, so Kaitlyn's going to come out of that there. And and that's it. So first of all, obviously, thank you, Kaitlyn, for doing all of the hard work there. So guys, as we said, there's we're running Square One Connect, which is our sort of YouTube channel. You can find out about that through our Facebook page at www.squareonephysio.com.au. Feel free to just click on the Square One Connect page and then you'll find out more about the virtual classes that we're offering. We're doing these weekly sessions every Monday, same time, same place, so feel free to tune in, and then we're running repeats of these sessions through the weeks as well, so feel free to check us out on our Facebook page. Enjoy the rest of your day.
See you later.